Happy Friday, everybody. I know I'm the first one here. I'll wait patiently for the rest of you. And I'm going to wait because we have some really fun things to talk about today. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to our chat. Because despite the weather outside, I'm actually feeling really, really positive, really, really bright. I got some good things coming. So I hope you enjoy our conversation. If you don't get the whole thing, don't worry. It'll be posted later, and I'll remind everybody about this as to where you can find this video a little bit later on. But firstly, one of the things that I want to talk about was a challenge I recently participated in on Instagram, because while we're all staying home, we're all doing things from inside. That's all we're doing, especially in the food, beverage, hospitality industry, is we're all doing challenges. We're doing all kinds of challenges. So recently, there's a tea company that I love, and I'm going to stop and grab one of their products so I can show you. So hold your horses. All right. So, this challenge was, and that's just me being disorganized, don't worry about it. It happens. You know, I'm a guy, whatever. This challenge was put on by one of my favorite tea companies in Toronto called Sloane Fin Teas. You can find them at any number of restaurants, bars in Toronto. If you've ever been to the King Eddie Hotel for high tea, they feature Sloane Teas. There are a myriad of other restaurants, I'm sure, that feature them. You can buy them at shops on Queen West in the Distillery District. You can find them. You can order online from sloanetea.com. This is Sloane Tea. This is also Sloane Tea. Beautiful boutique, beautiful craftsman artisanal style tins. And they do a myriad of flavors of tea. So what I'm going to talk about is tea cocktails today. And I hope I'm on the right one. Can you check?
Okay, hang on.
So, yes, we're going to talk tea cocktails. So this is one of my favorite flavors, and you can't see it from here. This is one called Heavenly Cream, and the label's a little bit worn. Nothing wrong with that. But this tea is absolutely fantastic. I first used this in a cocktail competition a number of years ago. It's a competition called Made with Love. If you're in the food and beverage industry, it's still going, although this summer it's taking a bit of a different format, obviously. It's a riff on an Earl Grey. It's not a true Earl Grey because they do an Earl Grey classic. Chrissy! Hi, honey. How you doing, Chrissy? Chrissy just joined. Hi, Chrissy. Chrissy is a fantastic metalsmith, jewelsmith, gemsmith. She runs something called the Den Toronto. You can find her on the Den Toronto at Engrave Toronto. There's a little plug for my friend Chrissy. Doing custom jewelry, custom rings, bracelets, engraving, metal engraving, anything you want. She's actually working on a project for me, hopefully for when I get back to work. Some nice fun cufflinks and things like that. But anyway, Chrissy, we're talking tea cocktails. I love you, honey. I miss you. Shoot me up a message if you need some food. I have your USB stick ready to go, full of new entertainment for you. Anyway, side note. I first ran into Sloane at the Restaurant Canada show a number of years ago. They had this beautiful corner booth set up. They had all of these teas, and I was like, in my heyday of mixology and finding new ways to make cocktails, new ingredients, new flavors to find. So I stopped and I tried these teas. And the lady that I spoke to was actually the owner of Sloane Tea. She's a tea sommelier, which I didn't even know was a thing at the time. Her name is Hoda Parapush. And this was one of the first teas I ever actually tried from them. It's called Jasmine Snow Dragon. Now, not going to lie, this tea is extremely expensive because each leaf is hand rolled. And I'm going to pull out one leaf just to show you. Oh, the smell just coming out from opening that tin is fantastic. So, this is one leaf. Okay, so we can get this so it's in focus. All right, this leaf has been hand rolled. And the aromas coming off of that are absolutely mind-blowing. So I tried this tea and a couple others, and I fell in love with their tea selection. And then I entered this cocktail competition, and I was assigned the spirit of Jim Beam Devil's Cut, which is a bourbon. If you know me, you know I like my whiskey, particularly bourbon. And I tasted the Devil's Cut, and I thought, wow, this tea would be fantastic. And yes, it was the Sloane Heavenly Cream. Hey, Ro, how you doing, honey? Thanks for popping on. So, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to do this, and it's going to get a little bit dizzying, but here's my countertop. It's kind of messy, and if you've ever been over for a cocktail, you know that this is what it sort of ends up looking like, much to Iris's chagrin. But I'm going to make a couple of tea cocktails. So, hi, Steve. How you doing, buddy? I assume, Ro, that when you're there, Steve's there too, because he's not working right now, unfortunately. And, dude, I'm looking to get back to work. I'm sure you are too. So anyway, here's what I've got going on. So I brewed up earlier today. If you saw my teaser, I know, I'm punny. What do you want? I brewed up some Heavenly Cream. So here it is in my mason jar. Some Heavenly Cream tea. I'm a messy bartender, apparently. I'm so out of practice from being behind a bar and keeping things neat. My jigger was where it doesn't belong, and it's just, oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm going to pour out 2 ounces of Heavenly Cream tea. So, bergamot, bourbon vanilla, very, very aromatic, floral. It's fantastic. It's a great riff on an Earl Grey. I highly recommend you get some and put it in your face. Next up, Courvoisier, some cognac. Courvoisier is actually made in the beautiful little town of Jarnac in the province of Cognac, France. I had the privilege of going there and getting an exceptional behind-the-scenes tour of their distillery and their production facility. So I'm going to add 1 ounce of Courvoisier VS, okay, for a little bit of a backbone, and this is about to get Chrissy's attention. Da-dun, da-dun. Booker's. Booker's is an overproof strength bourbon from Beam Suntory. This is from 2015, 64.35% alcohol. So it's a bit overproof. It's got some good heat. It's got some good spice. As my dad likes to say about Booker's, I'll drink this one sitting down. Not me. I like my overproof bourbons. So you don't really need much. This is actually going to become the backbone of our cocktail. So I'm only adding a half an ounce of this Booker's. All right. Next up, we need a sweetening agent. And I think you know where I might be going. I'm not working, but yep. There's the spin. A little bit of Di Serono. I'm going to add a half an ounce of Di Serono because the almond and the vanilla notes in that tea play so beautifully together. Not gonna lie, I may have made one earlier today, just in practice, because you never want a guinea pig, right? I'm also gonna grab a 1/4 ounce of some simple syrup that I just finished cooking off. Boom. Next up, Scrappy's Chocolate Bitters. Love these chocolate bitters. It's not sweet, it's not bitter, it's just really good. Dark cocoa nib, 3 dashes is all you need. You can get this anywhere you can buy bitters, like BYOB. You can order it online, thecraftybartender.com. They'll deliver. Boom, so I've got that. Next up, I'm going to do something really weird. Because it's me. I'm weird. I can, and I like to be. I've got some milk, good old-fashioned milk, into a strange-looking container. And I'll show you this in just a second. I just need to... This is one of the few times I actually measure things accurately. There we go. All right. So what I have here, that silver tin was actually a hot and cold foamer from Nespresso. So I have my Nespresso machine over here, so I can have espressos, cappuccinos, etc. But you can't really have a cappuccino without a foamer. So follow me over here. You can see, where it is. There you go. It's really hard to do when you're doing it backwards and not looking. There you go. So there's my foamer. So I've got my hot foam, hot milk buttons. So I'm just going to hit that cold foam button, and it's going to do its thing. Boom. So that's going to take a couple of minutes. And I'll set you back down before you get too seasick. Hopefully you all have a cocktail too. I hope. You should. It's Friday. We're not going anywhere. You don't have to go to work. You don't have to get up in the morning, except for cartoons and bacon and eggs. So after this, you're like, dude, this is one cocktail. Your counter's really messy. We're not only doing one cocktail. I'm actually going to start something which is going to span my next few conversations. Now, why tea cocktails? Well, while my milk does its foam thing, so this actually has like a bit of a circulator. It's got like a little mini... Wait, hang on a second. I'll show you this. It's got a magic wand in it. All right, you see this little spherical thing? And then I'm going to... There you go. So it kind of has one of these in there, plus a heater, so it can do both hot foam and cold foam. Basically what it is, if you want to grab one of these, you can get them at like Kitchen Stuff Plus, any restaurant supply store, Tap Fung, whatever. So while my milk does its thing, I'm going to talk to you about tea cocktails and why I love them so much. So like I said, made with love a few years ago, I did a cocktail, and I used the Sloane Heavenly Cream. And I did a cocktail called The Devil Went Down on Georgia. It was a riff on everything Southern. It was this, smoked peach juice, the Devil's Cut bourbon from Jim Beam. And I know Chrissy loves her Devil's Cut. And Chrissy, if you can find any, grab it, stash it, because it's about to go away. So says Ray. That was my cocktail, and it was absolutely fantastic. I garnished it with some homemade blood orange and vanilla bitters and a candied pecan and bacon brittle, which unfortunately some vegetarians decided to sample without asking me first. Anywho. No, Chrissy, there's still some in a couple of LCBOs. Double check. Back to this challenge. Anyway, so what started all this was Sloane earlier this week posted a challenge saying take a Sloane shelfie. Not a selfie, a shelfie. Take a picture of your Sloane tea collection, and the winner will be announced, blah, 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 and they get a prize of 2 tea caddies. You could enter multiple times. I entered multiple times. I didn't win. A guy named Jeremy, at JRemy26, won the prize today. Congratulations, dude. Your shelf is absolutely gorgeous. Mine was basically a drawer full of Sloane tea. Not nearly as decorative and attractive as yours. I had a little bit of tea envy. Yes, I did. Anywho, my milk has finished foaming. I'm going to shake up this cocktail. I did the ice ahead of time so you guys wouldn't have to see me go to the freezer and back because it's disorganized and messy. Kind of want to do a little bit more cooking show. Oh, look, I've got one ready for you. But not really. I still want you to see the process. So, happy Friday, everybody. All right, there we go. Well, if there's none left in the province, Chrissy, next time I go to BC, Calgary, whatever, if I can find a bottle, you get one coming to you, okay, hon? Just because you're such a beautiful individual. So, a tea cocktail requires a good tea service. So this is a teacup which I actually love because if you look, it actually has legs on it. And I've got my double strainer because we don't want any ice chips in this. So I'm just going to pour out the cocktail. There you go. So basically what I'm doing is a bit of a tea latte. An iced tea latte, a cold tea latte. So now I've got my foam. And I'm going to encourage it with a spoon. So I've got my foam on top. All right. I know, a little bit of dead air there, I'm sorry. There we go. So, boom. There you go. So look at that nice stiff peaks. I'm going to bend this down a bit so you can see it. There you go. We have this beautiful Heavenly Cream tea latte. I'm going to set that down for a second so I can straighten this back up again. Selfie sticks. Used to be the bane of my existence, and I felt embarrassed going in and ordering one, but anyway, you know what? Cheers. Oh, yeah. It's vanilla. You get that bourbon coming through. That bourbon is there. That Booker's. That little bit of almond vanilla note from the Di Serono. The sweetness from the cognac plays beautifully with the bergamot notes. And that cold foam milk is absolutely fantastic. Christina, hi. Thanks for joining, Christina. Christina teaches a WSET course for anybody in the industry, and I've just decided, I've just opted into a challenge that she's hosting. I have to do a blind taste test on spirits to challenge my palate, and it's been a while since I've bartended, so Really looking forward to it. Yes, Christina, I did get my full package. I have all 25, good to go. I'm going to start breaking down this weekend. So what I have to do is I have 5 different categories, different spirits. I have to pick out what spirit it is, what brand it is, where it comes from, if there's a particular expression to it, like in a whiskey, say it's got a sherry cask or something like that, or a special age statement. It's actually really cool, and I'm really looking forward to challenging myself again as to refreshing my knowledge. I spent the last year and a half either not working, doing special events, or as the brand ambassador for Di Serono and Tia Maria. Really looking forward to it. So thank you, Christina, for putting this on. Cheers. Fran, thanks for joining. Fran, I miss you. You're a beautiful human. I love what you've been doing. Love your running. Fran and I used to work together in a small wine boutique shop in Kitchener. Yeah, she was an absolutely beautiful human being to work with. We had a ton of fun working together, selling wine and just making fun of people because, well, that's who we were and who I still am. Anyway, on to the next project. So, I have a big Tupperware container. Chrissy recognizes this because she gets soup deliveries in this. Thumbs up, Fran. Miss you and the tree is red. Chrissy, you recognize this. This is your soup container. Now, if you saw my post yesterday, or over the last couple days, you saw that I made this. This is oolong creme. This is an oolong tea by Sloane Tea. I have tried numerous oolong teas. I've tried Plucks, I've tried David's, I've tried numerous brands of oolong tea. Sloane's oolong creme is absolutely beautiful. It's milky, it's velvety, it's got some peach, some apricot, it's buttery. So, I brewed some of that out and I measured off an amount. So I'm going to add that to here. Now, Chrissy is going to know what I'm doing, because I'm going to let all of these ingredients sit for a couple of days, and on Monday you're going to see some magic, and then on Wednesday you're going to see the finished product. So this is a labor of love for a cocktail because it takes so long to put together, because I'm now pulling out hardware. I have my mortar and pestle, and I'm going to take coriander seed. So I've got some coriander seed I'm going to throw in here. La 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 la. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I'm just trying to fill the dead air while So I've crushed up this coriander seed. Now, coriander seed, if you don't know, is related to cilantro. They're not the same, but this seed, and I can smell it from here, brings off a beautiful floral yet slightly citrusy note. So, boom, into the container. I have some dried mango. Now, yes, it's PC dried mango, which is pre-sweetened, and so I've adjusted my recipe. So I have 2 pieces of dried mango. Boom, into the tea. Now I'm going to take Di Serono. I don't have to use Di Serono, but it works so well with this oolong. So in the summer, back in the winter, we're just getting into summer. So back in the winter, I made my twist on a hot toddy back when I was actively working as the Di Serono brand ambassador. And I'm hoping to be called back to duty soon. Okay, now I'm breaking into my little bottle. This is like the emergency backup bottle. Boom, boom. So I'm putting 3 ounces. So I've got half a liter of this oolong tea. I've got 3 ounces of my Di Serono. Now I'm taking a blended Scotch whiskey. Boom. This is called Black Bottle. Now you're going to go to the LCBO, you're going to see the price and be like, that can't be good. It's only $32. This is fantastic. It's got a slightly peaty note to it. It's very lightly peated. It's a blended Scotch, which means it's blended from different distilleries, possibly different grains. This one doesn't actually tell you. I'm adding 4 ounces of this. Now, Chrissy, if I'm going to let this sit for a couple of days and then add something else, I want to see if you can guess what I'm going to be doing. Okay, boom. So we've got our Black Bottle Scotch in there. Boom, what else do we need? Oh, yes. I just got an order today from a company that I order from. And I mentioned this before in a video back when I did Mastiqa. Mastiqua. We talked about the Kolonaki group. They import Greek wines, Greek spirits, and fine food items, capers, olives, also oregano. Now, this is an organic oregano, which was actually handpicked. So this is handpicked Greek oregano. Now, was it handpicked by Greeks? I don't know. But it's Greek oregano, which is a particular strain of oregano. And wow, they jammed this to the top. I took the lid off and oregano went everywhere. So I'm actually just going to take a teaspoon. Oh, that's my tablespoon. Where's my teaspoon? There's my teaspoon. All right, so I'm just going to take a teaspoon of this dried Greek oregano, and it's so aromatic. And oregano is one of those herbs that actually works out better dried than it does fresh. This whole kitchen smells so beautiful right now. It's awesome. I love it. Okay, so I've got all that. What else am I missing? Oh, yes. I'm missing another sweetening agent, which I got out, and me being the messy bartender that I am, I moved it. And I left it somewhere, and now I know not where. I'm just going to look for it while I sip my cocktail. Where did I put my smoked honey from Rosewood? Yes, Ro, you heard me correctly. Smoked honey from Rosewood. Smoked honey from Rosewood Winery. So if you don't know Rosewood, they are on the Beamsville Bench on Mountain View Road. They are second and third generation beekeepers. They are artisanal winemakers, so they have a wine and meadery. So they make both wine and mead. Mead is basically just honey, yeast, and water, and they let the yeast ferment the honey and do its fermentation thing. So, oh, it's got this beautiful smoky thing. Ro, it smells like Old Smoky. I might just have to have some Old Smoky tonight. So I'm going to add a couple of teaspoons of this smoked honey into the mix. There we go. And what am I going to do with all this? I'm going to let this sit for a couple of days. I'm going to let all of these flavors marinate, come together, steep and infuse. Actually, I have one more thing. So I have some fresh fruit. So I have an orange here. And if you're my age or older, which none of you are, I'm going to grab my trusty Tupperware orange zester. I'm going to zest my orange. This thing was great because it would help you just draw around the skin so you can peel off the skin of an orange in 4 sections. And as I say that, the skin fails me and I'm going to have to take it off in 23 pieces. So I'm just going to stall while I peel this orange. La 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 la. No, I'm just kidding. I know I said I would spare you the singing and I'm trying. All right, so got my orange scored and we're just going to give this just a really rough chop. You don't have to be pretty with it. Why? Because this orange here, just as it is, all of the juice, the pulp, the flesh, everything, it's just going into this mix. And it's just all going to sit together. So we've got our oolong creme tea. We've got our scotch from Black Bottle. We've got our Di Serono. We've got our hand-picked Greek oregano. We've got our Rosewood wine and winery and meadery smoked honey. And now I'm going to add just one last ingredient, and that is a tablespoon of toasted sesame seeds. And I am making a mess of my kitchen. I have so much cleaning to do after this. That's basically my Friday night, is cleaning the kitchen. And if you see my kitchen, you know what it's like. All right, so sticky mess. All right. That's basically it. So what I'm actually doing, hey Andy, how you doing? Tell us a joke. Okay. The King of Spain was actually quarantined on his plane because of COVID. And it's been raining a lot there, so you could say that the rain in Spain has stayed mainly on the plane. Wah! There's your joke, bro. Chrissy's like, oh no. She could see where this was going. Yes, I tell dad jokes. It's what I do. You love me for it. This tea latte is absolutely delicious. Again, Sloane Heavenly Cream. Andy, come on. Dad would have told you that when it was on the Dad Jokes Instagram feed, so come on. That was, again, Sloane tea, cognac, bourbon, Di Serono, some chocolate bitters, some cold foam milk. Fantastic. All right, so, Chrissy, have you figured it out yet? What's going on here? So here's your soup container. I've thrown on the lid. we're just going to give this a gentle mix around because I don't want it to splash and spray everywhere. I've done already enough of that mess myself. So I'm going to let all of these flavors sit in the fridge for the weekend, and then I'm going to strain all this out. Now, you can see what color it is now, right? It's the nice light, cloudy amber. All right. On Monday, when I do my 6 o'clock, not 6 whatever it is, Peyton. You're like 15 minutes late, young lady. No, I'm just kidding. So on Monday, what I'm going to do is create a clarified milk punch. And you're thinking, how can milk clarify something? It's magic. So I've got this beautiful liquid. I've got the tea, the scotch, the Di Serono, everything else in here. The orange, the mango, the sesame, the oregano, the smoked honey. I've got all those flavors going on. They're going to sit and marry together like a good stew. And then on Monday, I'm going to add me some milk. Oh, look, Peyton, you're on the cover. No, I'm just kidding. You were just missing for a little while. I'm kidding. And then, yeah, Chrissy, you got it. You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add milk, and then I'm going to add some fresh lemon juice. Now, it won't be this lemon juice. I will have used this little thing of lemon juice in cocktails over the weekend. I will squeeze fresh lemon juice. So I'm going to add milk to this, and then lemon juice to it. Now, what happens when citric acid and milk get together? The milk is going to curdle. And all of a sudden, you all went, except for Chrissy, all went, ooh. Chrissy knows what's coming. That's why I love this. So, Chrissy, thanks so much for joining today. I'm going to make a clarified milk punch. So what will happen is the citric acid from the lemon and the milk will come together. It's going to curdle. But those curds, as they sink, are going to actually trap the color molecules and sink down to the bottom. So then what I can do is I can run it through strainers. Ideally a super bag. I don't have a super bag. So I'm going to run it through a gold chinois filter and a couple of coffee filters. So I'm going to have to actually strain it a few times out. But what I'll get in the end is something that essentially looks like this. Just a slightly off clear. So this is basically your simple syrup. So it's going to be just off clear with a slight golden hint. Not even Pinot Grigio level yellow. But it's going to have all of these flavors. It's going to have that oolong, apricot, peach butteriness. It's going to have that little bit of almond and vanilla from the Di Serono. It's going to have this nice smoky whiskey backbone from the black bottle scotch. It's going to have the mango. It's going to have that orange citric note. It's all going to play together. You're going to get the nuttiness from the sesame, that green vegetal from the oregano. It's all going to come together in one round thing. And when you do this, and like I said, this is a labor of love because it takes a few days to do and a messy kitchen and a forgiving mate. But yeah, you're going to get all that, and it's going to be fantastic so that you've got this beautiful clear liquid. You keep in a bottle in the fridge. When you're thirsty, you put an ice cube in your glass, you pour it out, and you're drinking the most exquisite thing ever, and you've created it. Now, is there a recipe to a milk punch? There's about 1,000. You can create a milk punch whichever way you want. You can do it with coffee. You can do it with tea. You can do it with rum. You can do it with gin. You can do it... So the spirit of choice might help define the flavors that you choose to use. I could have done a cold brew coffee with some of this Booker's bourbon and some cognac and some Di Serono. Or I could have done this beautiful, delicate, green, vegetal jasmine snow dragon tea with a beautiful gin like Reed's, or the Hendrick Summer Solstice, which tastes like purple. I could have taken any of the other Sloane tea flavors. The Rouge Provence, the almond truffle, the chocolate mint, the citron calm, which is a beautiful chamomile mint ginger blend, which is fantastic for falling asleep too. The mint verbena, absolutely brilliant. Would have worked great with a rum and kind of a tiki style milk punch. So with a milk punch, you can go any which way you want. Your imagination is your own limit. I went with the flavors that I like and some of the products that I like to use. You do you. Some people like to drink whiskey on the rocks, some with soda, some just like it neat in a glass. Some of us put it in fancy tea cocktails. Yes, Andy, this is one of Graham's old teacups. You know what? I have foam on my nose. It's a Belgian dip. It's how we drink it in Belgium. Yeah, so this is how it is. You know what, I'm going to add one more thing to this tea concoction before I put it away. Just a little bit of orange flower blossom water. This stuff is fairly potent, so you don't need much, just a couple of dashes for, this is actually a 3-liter container. So 2 dashes in all of this liquid. Oh, the oregano and the sesame coming off the top of that are beautiful. I know they're going to add some really great notes to it. Looking forward to it. I might strain this off tomorrow or Sunday, but I'm going to save it and show you guys the citric and milk thing on Monday. So Monday at 6 o'clock, we're going to actually start the milk punch, and then I can strain it off Tuesday or Wednesday during the day. So this is like part 1 of a trilogy in 5 parts. And I know some of you got that, and I know some of you didn't. Google the trilogy in 5 parts and then read the book and let me know how it goes. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I have a little bit of cocktail left here. I'm going to pour it into my teacup. Womp womp. And it's Friday night. I'm taking the night off cooking. Gonna order in. Don't know what we're gonna order in, but hope you all have a cocktail. Oh, it just keeps getting better. Love this. This was a great idea. So that's milk punch in. That's the Cole's notes of milk punch. But other ways that you can do tea and cocktails before I go. Apache burger. Good call, Peyton. Except Iris can't eat Apache burger. I can. And she can have salad. I won't tell you what she just said. No. You can do a milk punch any which way. Where was I going? I just kind of got sidetracked with the Apache burger. Thanks. You got me sidetracked with Apache burger. No, tea cocktails. So what you can do is you can take a tea and infuse it into a spirit. So one thing I would do is take this beautiful jasmine snowdragon or the Rouge Provence, which is a beautiful rose rooibos tea. That's a tongue twister even before a cocktail. And infuse that into a vodka. It's very delicate. It's floral. The almond truffle is fantastic. The chocolate mint in rum, beautiful. They've got numerous flavors. Their peaches and cream is also out of this world. Check out sloanetea.com. Find a flavor that you think works for you. Order it. They'll ship to you. And if you want to hit me up for a cocktail recipe, shoot me the flavor that you picked. Tell me your favorite spirit. So I'm like, I ordered this tea and this is my favorite spirit. I'll give you a recipe, the best way to use it. Whether you turn the tea into a syrup, you infuse it into the spirit, or do what I did with this punch and just put the tea directly in as an ingredient on its own. Boom. Not rude. Anywho. That's it for me. I'm going to go clean up this mess because, well, it's going to take me a while. Not going to lie. And I'm going to finish my cocktail. Cheers. Fingers up. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Hi, everybody. The weather's supposed to be fantastic. I hope you can get outside safely. Sit in one of your Trinity circles or some other circle, or just don't. If you've got your own patio, Chrissy, sit outside. Say hi to Scully for me, Chrissy. He looked like he was having fun the other day eating fruit. And yeah, I'll be back Monday, and we'll continue this milk punch adventure together. Can see what happens. I'm kind of scared. Not gonna lie, I haven't done a milk punch in a while. And like I said, it's a labor of love, but it's a lot of fun when you get the end result where you can pour out something that looks like a glass of water over ice, but it's got a billion different flavors going on. Kind of like Ratatouille's brain when he eats the mushroom with the herb and everything. Kind of like my brain normally does. If you know me, that's what my brain does. And yeah, we'll see what happens with this milk punch, how it turns out. And we're going to talk about some other fun stuff on Monday. And that's it for me. Everybody have a good weekend. Please stay home as much as you can. Stay safe. If you're going out, wear a mask. And if you haven't noticed, I kind of trimmed the COVID beard down. I went grocery shopping on Wednesday to get some ingredients for the dinner I made for a dear friend of mine, Lori. And wearing the mask with that full beard was just irritating as anything. So I decided to shop it down because dry skin and itchiness and all that irritation, and plus also tan lines. I didn't want to come out of this and have like not just mask tan lines, but beard tan. Like That would have been a whole bunch of weird tan lines on a guy as pale as me. Not fun. Anyway, have a good weekend, everybody. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. This will be going on to my YouTube channel shortly, and hopefully, if I can save it properly this time, still trying to figure this all out. Doesn't always work the same. I don't know. It'll go to my IGTV channel, and you can watch this again and have more laughs at my expense, and I'm okay with it. Peace.